Hey, Pinellas County. Otis Dixon here, Florida high school graduate, class of 1996, and a proud former USF Bull. Back in the day, sports was everything to me. Now you can relive the excitement with Pinellas County Schools TV Classic Game of the Week. Watch some of the best high school players in the county leave it all on the field and the courts. Don't miss it Thursday night on PCS TV and Pinellas County School YouTube channel. You don't want to miss this classic.
A basketball Saturday night here on Bright House Sports Network. It's the Keith MacCollum Shootout here at Seminole High School, where the Warhawks host the Brandon Eagles. And we welcome you courtside, everybody. Great to have you with us alongside former Clearwater head coach Alan Carden. I'm Drew Felios. This is the fourth year of this annual event honoring Keith MacCollum, along with three other young men that lost their lives on a tragic night just less than 5 years ago here in Seminole. It was a night that changed this community forever. Tonight, this shootout continues as number 11 in everybody's hearts here today. So the Warhawks have been putting on this tournament, as I said, 4 straight years. It is a tremendous event, Coach.
I think so. Like I said, Josh has really done a great job in growing this. Great competition, pits Pinellas County teams against teams from out of the area. Very, very excited about being here and look forward to a great game tonight.
The Brandon Eagles are the visiting team. They come in with a record of 11-8. They've got a player by the name of Roderick Davis, who is one of the most talented kids here today.
Roderick is averages 14, actually averages a double-double, already committed to Wright State, plays above the rim, also does a little bit on the outside, not scared to step out and shoot the three, but his game is going to the hole and high athleticism and dunks.
This Seminole basketball team will get up and down as well. Marco Bahori leads the attack. Tell us about number 3.
Marco is tremendous talent. When if we were picking a pickup game out here, he would probably not be the first one picked. The ball goes up and the little cat can play.
He is tremendous, averaging just over 21 points per game. So it should be fun. The Eagles of Brandon and the Warhawks of Seminole. Tip-off coming up next on Bright House Sports Network. So Brandon and Seminole set to go here in Pinellas County. The Eagles and Warhawks on Bright House Sports Network. Nice crowd on hand here tonight. They love their basketball here in the community of Seminole. And before we get underway, time to look at our Central Florida and Gulf Coast Honda dealers' keys to the game. Dominate down low. Brandon wants to do that. They've got the size advantage here today. And for Seminole, it's all about perimeter shooting. Several marksmen that'll be wearing white tonight. Coach, you dig even deeper with what you think Seminole has to accomplish here.
Well, Seminole has got the element of surprise against them. That's the big thing. Brandon has not scouted Seminole. Coach Turner does not know a whole lot about the sets and the stuff that they run. So I think that's going to be the element of surprise, being able to get some easy baskets and running their sets and their backdoor cuts.
Well, Brandon's had a tough 24 hours. A loss last night to Strawberry Crest, and a game the Eagles thought they should have had because they're playing lights-out basketball coming into this weekend.
Strawberry Crest is a nice team. It'll be very interesting as the game goes on to see if that has any effect as it gets later on into the game, if the fatigue will be a factor. I don't think it will because of the athleticism. A lot of these guys can run and jump and play all day.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the Brandon Eagles. We'll go with Pedro Lopez and Kevin Wilson. A nice backcourt with Dante Mitchell, the junior forward. Roderick Davis, the best player on the team, so athletic. Also has a 5.2 GPA. He is special. Brian Wright wears number 33. He's a senior, going 6'6". So a big front line for Brandon. And for Seminole, Marco Bahori, we talked about him in the open. 46% from beyond the arc. TJ Fraunfelter, Nick Doubleday, Tanner Cowan, and Connor Frayne. Connor Frayne, number 33. He is a senior forward, 6'5".
freshman student athlete at Seminole High School for 3 years. Keith and 3 other classmates died tragically on April 10, 2009. Keith MacCollum, Joe Ruzicki, Nate Richardson, and LaShawn Smith. Our hearts also go out to the players and families from Brandon High School, who also had tragedy strike early this year when they experienced the untimely death of teammate Milo Meeks. This time we ask you to stand. Seminole High School basketball, I'd like to take this time to remember the 4 boys lost in the tragic accident, as well as Milo, with a moment of silence for 11 seconds. Keith's number. Thank you. Now we will introduce the starting lineups for tonight's game.
Hard to crawl in here.
Oh, the emotion still very heavy from what will be 5 years this April.
That's really a neat way to honor him. 11 seconds on the clock. Really nice touch.
Keith MacCollum wore number 11. He was a junior at the time. And the date everybody remembers, April 10th, 2009. Keith MacCollum remembered here tonight. And you heard our public address announcer, also the Brandon Eagles, remembering one of their own, Milo Meeks, a player who was lost on September 21st when he passed away after complications, heart failure after a preseason conditioning routine, something that is a coach's worst nightmare. There you take a look at the T-shirts, their entire season dedicated to Milo Meeks.
Yeah, both teams here, Drew, are kind of playing with a little bit of heavy hearts. The people don't understand the emotion that goes into a high school basketball season. And when a team has a cause to play for, which both these teams do, especially Brandon, with this being so recent, I think it gives them a different level of competitiveness to be able to go out there and play because there is a cause to play for.
You saw Dante Mitchell, the junior forward for Brandon, and now the introductions for the Warhawks. Tanner Cowan, Nick Doubleday coming out to a round of applause.
You know, Drew, if we were doing a pickup game, I'm not sure all the Seminole kids would get picked first. And that's kind of one of the things they use to their advantage. All right, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a big contrast in styles. I'm excited about watching this to see the athleticism of Brandon be able to play against the sets, the backdoor Princeton Chin series of Seminole. And I think it'll be a very, very exciting to see who can impose their will on the other team.
Seminole rarely the biggest, fastest, or strongest team in any tournament or shootout, but always fundamentally sound. The Warhawks come in with 13 wins on the season. So we're just about set to go. Connor Frayne will jump it up for the Warhawks, and he'll do it against Brian Wright, the 6-foot senior. Make it Roderick Davis, the senior, for Brandon. We're underway. A Saturday of basketball on Bright House Sports Network, first of 2 games. Thrilled to have you with us. First shot of the game is up and in as Davis puts it in.
Roderick started off and asserted his dominance right off, going right at him, knocking down the easy jumper.
Long shot by Fraunfelter. And now Pedro Lopez for Brandon. Player who transferred into Florida just last year, moved out of Brooklyn, New York.
Nice little block on the contest there. Believe it or not, Seminole blocks a lot of shots. You know, I've had the opportunity to see them play 3 or 4 times this year, and they get their hands on a lot of balls. It's not the big blocks across upside the wall. It's contesting shots.
Try and punch it to that free throw line. Doubleday thought about the shot, but thought otherwise, and now Fraunfelter in and out, and controlled down low by Davis. Here's Kevin Wilson. Nice look inside. Reverse layup is good, and it's Dante Mitchell.
You can see who's so far got the tempo going their way.
Doubleday, 3-pointer. Seminole still looking to get on the scoreboard.
Seminole's going to have to knock down some outside shots just to be able to counter this inside presence they've got, because right now it's Brandon with all the advantage.
Punch it down to the block. The nice inside-outside game, and Wilson from 3, and Brandon's come out firing.
Well, Drew, you can see it's going to be very different. Seminole's a team that likes to play in front, you know, and they have not been faced with being behind quite a few because they're 13-2. So this is what's giving them problems, is the athleticism.
Now Marco Bohorio will try and settle things down.
A lot of people think that when you get behind, you got to get a quick shot up. The real thing to do is slow down, run your stuff. It's still early. Still early. Don't panic. And I don't think they will.
Shot from the corner is off, but a nice rebound and put back by Connor Frame.
Connor Frame gets them going. They needed that. Just something to get them going so it wouldn't be a shutout early on.
This Brandon team went from pounding it inside to now they play a much more wide open game, and players like Kevin Wilson taking advantage as the Warhawks able to save it out of bounds, and here comes Bahori.
Coach Turner said we want to play basketball. We're not going to worry about running a lot of sets. We're going to run the high screen and try to get up a lot of shots quick.
Connor Frame, three-pointer.
And boy, if that gets going, they've got Connor Frame stepping out to make the 3. That's going to make things even up real quick. Told you not to panic, not to panic.
Laying chase now, and Wilson shakes free and knocks down another.
Brandon playing with tons of confidence early on. I think that's making a big difference. You know, not knowing, not worrying about their sets, just using their athleticism.
So 6 early points for Kevin Wilson. Nice backdoor cut right there. Warhawks, good ball movement to go with it. Doubleday shot.
Partially blocked there, Drew. That's the reason it was a little bit short, but again, they get a lot. Seminole gets a lot of hustle rebounds, just where you go and get an extra possession there. Tough luck on that.
Seminole's only losses to St. Pete and Columbia at the Palatka tournament. This is a program, too, that graduated 8 players in 2013. Coach Josh Walker didn't know what type of team he was going to have. They have answered the bell.
Yeah, but you know, Drew, a lot of people don't understand the outside or the off-season program that Josh puts his kids through. Very intensive, a lot of games, a lot of practice.
Foul's going to be called inside, and Frayne is going to get whistled. As Josh Walker, 5th season as head coach here at Seminole. He is a graduate of Seminole High School, 1997, born and raised here, just a hometown boy.
You know, Josh, I'm going to tell you something. He's one of the most underrated coaches here in Pinellas County. They don't understand, people don't understand what he's able to do with this group. You know, he lost everybody, and they picked right up where they left off. And as I said earlier, it's because of his off-season conditioning and regimen that he puts his kids through. You know, nowadays you got to play just about year-round basketball. You know, and that's what a lot of these kids here at Seminole, easy to develop your program there.
Only 2 district titles all time for Seminole. Coach Walker trying to change that. Those championship seasons, 1977 and 1988.
You know, Josh has got a great opportunity this year, you know, with some of the teams in the district being a little bit down, you know, so they've got a chance. Very interesting, Drew. They went straight to his own. Went straight to his own after some of those sets.
Saved out of bounds. Nice athletic play by Nick Doubleday.
Drew, you see what I mean about Seminole getting a lot of hustle rebounds. You know, they get their hands on a lot just by sheer hustle. You know, and that's what Josh Walker demands of them.
Fraunfelter, long shot. Came up short. Doubleday there for the board.
I don't think that will deter Fraunfelter at all. He's a shooter, and he will continue to shoot the basketball.
Look at the crisp ball movement. Doubleday tees one up.
I'm going to tell you, when you reverse that basketball and make the defense react, you're going to get a good shot. You're going to get a good shot. Great ball reversal by Seminole that time. Well-developed play.
3-point game, 4th annual Keith MacCollum Memorial Shootout. The Seminole Warhawks in white, Brandon in the maroon, taking it straight up and coming up a little short. Seminole with a chance to cut in this lead more.
Tremendous defense by Seminole right there. You know, just gut-wrenching defense, and that's their trademark.
Warhawks able to track it down. The Seminole team much more offensive than they were a year ago. And there you see why as Frame shakes free.
I'm going to tell you, they run their sets very, very well. And if you don't jump to the basketball, hedge on the screens, and recover the basket up, they're going to pick you apart.
7 points in the first quarter for Frame. That shot is blocked as Cowan did a good job cutting off the path to the basket.
And that's the one thing that Seminole plays. Look here, going straight to the basket, good help, nice block there. Good. They're going to be tough to score on.
Now the crowd picks up.
And you know something, Josh is not going to change a whole lot either. Coach Walker is mostly man-to-man. He will change up after a timeout or a quarter change. Most time they're going to play pressure man-to-man.
Colton Pickett is checked into the game for Brandon. He wears number 3 and a fouled whistle underneath.
Now, Marco can't let his man around him that time. That really puts pressure on the defense there. Can't do that breakdown in the defense there.
Also, Javaris Rambo, the junior forward, wearing number 42 in the game right now. Wilson's knocked down a couple outside shots, wants another. And just off.
Just another good defense and getting that rebound. That's the key. You got to finish your defense by your rebounding.
Bahori tried to cross it in. Tough shot. Here come the Eagles. Pedro Lopez, a hard-nosed guard with a perfect pass, and Rambo able to lay it in.
That's a nice move. Going up in traffic, doing a 360, then dropping it off for the easy deuce.
This shot up and good as Tanner Cowan. You get the sense this could be a high-scoring basketball game.
Well, Coach Walker's he told me early in the year he's making an honest effort to run a little bit more. You can see it out here. He said he's got some kids that can shoot the ball.
That one's swatted away. Colton Pickett didn't have a chance. And a whistle on Rambo. So Seminole starting to really settle in.
Well, as I said earlier, another block shot by Seminole. You wouldn't think that this would be a team that blocks a lot of shots. Every time I see them play, they have double digits in blocks. And it's not ones that you remember either. It's just the contests, little pieces, getting the ball in, doing the old Bill Russell thing. Block the ball in play so your team can get it. Here's Seminole running another nice little double set.
Deep shot by Fraunfelder was in and out. Now just under a minute. An exciting first quarter here at this Keith MacCollum shootout.
Here they go, they're going to run their Princeton Chin series. You'll see a little flare screen. They'll reverse the basketball, and here'll be their cut. See, there it is.
Wide open, and all he has to do, just missed it though. Oh, looked like the path was clear for Cowan, but a little defensive pressure caused the miss.
They got to finish around the basket, Drew. That's going to be big. You got it. You can't run a great set like that.
Tipped away. Now Marco going to the rim. Couldn't finish. And now a loose ball on the floor for Pickett.
Marco's like a little net out there getting his hands on a lot of balls. That's a good foul. You always foul for profit. You know, you never foul to give a three-point play, and that's exactly what Seminole did.
So Patrick Lackoff right there on the hack on the arm. And Kiefer Jefferson Grimes, 6'5" bruiser for Brandon. This young man just comes into the game, pounds those boards unlike anybody else off the bench in Hillsborough County.
Well, there's no doubt about that. That's a good-looking kid up there. Nice touch on the free throw line, too. I'd like to see him turn his feet just a little bit. I don't like those straight-ahead free throw shoot, but he knocked it down there. But that's going to be a big key to the game is can Brandon get those athletic-type plays, rebounds, putbacks, tips, and then get to the free throw line.
2-point lead for Brandon. Final 9 seconds of an exciting first quarter.
Brandon went back to the zone, so there's no back cuts.
Bahori tries to create his own shot, and that'll do it.
Marco got in the lane, but just wasn't able to. He's frustrated a little bit. This frustrated that a little bit in the first quarter, but he'll get it going.
1 quarter in the books, 15-13. Brandon by 2 here at the Keith MacCollum Shootout. 15-13, Brandon over Seminole, the Keith MacCollum Memorial Shootout. Great to have you with us on this Saturday night. And we also invite you to join us weeknights, 6 and 6:30 on the high school scoreboard, the Tampa Bay area's only daily high school sports show. In fact, the state and the country's only daily high school sports show. It's every day, Bright House Sports Network, Coach. It is something special.
It sure is, Drew, and I'm looking forward to looking at it. Let's see if Seminole will run a nice set out of this. Looks like they're going to run their little flare chin series again. And you can see Marco went straight to the hole. I'm sure Coach Walker wants to get him, get him going now. He averaged 21 points a game, and I think he was held scoreless in that first quarter.
He certainly was. Marco averaging over 21 points per game, still looking to score. How about that pass? And finishing is Fran underneath. Another
great screen-to-screener play, the little triangle play. A lot of teams run that at the high school and college level. And this guy sets a screen and then rolls back to the hole. Good recognition by Seminole.
That was Tanner Cowan on the bucket. And how about that rebound? Lorenzo Goli going to the sky.
Nice rebound by Lorenzo coming in right away, getting a rebound. That's what you want your guys to do off the bench.
Bahori couldn't hit. Fraunfelter able to keep it alive, and now Bahori again. Oh, the Eagles. And this is going to be a foul on Bahori reaching in.
Drew, you can bet when that ball goes on the floor, the Seminole kids are going to really get after it. And the little bit I've seen of Brandon, they're not scared to get on the floor either. So I like that kind of aggressive, tough basketball. That's fun.
This Brandon team won their Christmas tournament. Their ultimate goal, just get better in the month of January. They didn't want to peak too soon. That's what Coach Jamie Turner has told his club all along. As the shot up does not fall, tipped around, and Wilson comes down with it. But now throws it away. And before he did, a foul committed on the floor.
Brandon ran a little zipper cut there, and then a screen, and then they run the flex cut on the baseline, got him a nice shot, and then got on the glass and got a little ticky-tack foul there, but got the ball out underneath. Let's see what they run.
That's Connor Fran whistled on that last play. Now Kevin Wilson shot no good, and Seminole will have it back. Intercepted by Wilson. Tough to complete those passes against this fast Brandon Eagles team.
Yeah, the more you leave that ball up in the air against athletic teams, it gives them longer to get to the hole. You got to keep your passes crisp.
Dante Mitchell can't hit. Roderick Davis been a little quiet. This one tipped up and in.
That's what Seminole's got to do. They've got to keep Brandon off the glass, or Brandon will get those little tips and tacks underneath the goal. They've got to keep those, what I call pours, points off offensive rebounds.
That bucket credited to Dante Mitchell. He's got 5. Long shot by Fraunfelter, and he is not bashful taking that.
Fraunfelter is not going to worry about missing a couple of shots. He come off that high screen, knocked it down. Good form on his shot, too.
That's his first bucket. There's Fran rebounding it. 5 on 4. Now Davis able to get back, and Seminole will set it up.
Here's Seminole running their cuts again. You can see that that backdoor weak side cut is open all the time.
Fraunfelter, another one on the way, just missed. Here comes Lopez. Pedro Lopez, when he is playing well, look out. As he goes, this Brandon team goes. Here he is penetrating, kicking out to Mitchell, the leaner. It is off the mark. Brian Wright fighting underneath. And now both teams, a little bit of a dry spell.
Great toughness by both teams, though. They're really battling on the inside. Seminole's not backing down, but nice moves and nice cuts by everybody.
Henry Beard in the game wearing the headband for the Warhawks. And there's another pass. Tough time that getting through against this Eagles defense.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit sloppy by both teams, but I think one of the reasons is both teams is playing tremendous defense.
Now Davis. Lopez trying to get it inside. Another intercepted pass, 3-on-1. Here's Beard. And a foul call.
Nice job by Seminole jumping the passing lanes. And like Coach Turner said, he wants Brandon to play basketball, but right now they're a little bit out of sync. They probably need to get a set going up, but they're getting away with it because of their athleticism on the boards. But right there, they've got to make a better pass. But Seminole did a great job of getting the ball, taking the ball to the hole, and getting the foul and 2 free throws.
That foul called on Wilson. And now Henry Beard to the line. This young man, Henry Beard, he's only 5'7", as gritty, gutty as they come. But get this, Coach. He is already taking full-time college courses. He's a junior right now. By the time he finishes high school in this basketball program, he will have his AA degree.
That's a great thing that Pinellas County Schools does, is they allow that early entrance into college, and kids can do that. You know, by the time they graduate, they're nearly a sophomore in college. Great job by Henry Beard taking advantage of that.
Did you have any kids like that at Pinellas Park or Clearwater?
We were all like that, every one of them. Their basketball IQ was very high.
Roderick Davis, turnaround, tough shot, no good.
Seminole's doing an excellent job defensively on Roderick Davis. He's really struggling on getting things going.
Here's Goley's three-pointer. And the 6'3" sophomore knocks down a big shot.
Yeah, Goley has come in and given them, in addition to that, knocking down a three-pointer, he's got up and got 3 rebounds and a block shot and a steal. So he's made a definite impact as soon as he came in the game. The left-hander knocks it down. Stand still, that's just horse, Drew. You got to get out there and get on somebody. They stood there and watched, and Coach Turner immediately, that gets coaches irate when you don't get a hand up on the shooter. No coach likes to give wide open shots. Contest without fouling. Contest. You don't have to block shots, but you do have to contest.
Jamie Turner gonna have to reach into his coaching bag of tricks right now. Seminole on a nice run, leading by 6. Coach Turner, like Coach Walker, graduated from the high school that he's coaching. He was part of that Brandon class of 2003, played on that great 2000 team that had the Graham brothers that went on to Oklahoma State, also played some at St. Leo.
I've seen Coach Turner. I remember when he first got to Brandon, they really struggled, and he's finally got that program back. You know, they're always competing with the wrestling program there, as good as Brandon is, but doing a good job with his group this year. I see Seminole has went to a zone, just as I told you, Josh. Coach Walker likes to change defenses out of timeouts. And Coach Turner probably set up a man-to-man play. And they come up and it confused the Brandon team a little bit, so they're having to get things set up.
Eagles a little bit out of sorts, and there's the steal. Bahori leading the charge for the Warhawks. Tanner Cowan takes it to the rim, and he traveled.
Yeah, Drew, he kind of took a false step there. Nice move. Should have hop stepped there to keep his pivot foot down, but nice aggressive move to the hole. Let's see if Seminole goes right back to the man, if they stay in that zone that gave them trouble. Now they go to a little 1-3-1, so there's Coach Walker again, changing defenses, trying to confuse Brandon. Another turnover. So the coaching chess match continues.
Lorenzo Gully just knocked down a big 3. Henry Beard and Bahori both in the game. 2 point guards right now for the Warhawks. And that one's up and in as Bahori finally in the scoring column.
Marco makes a nice little move to the hole, draws the contact, and then makes the shot. Check this out. He makes a move, draws the contact, nice floater, gets it on the rim, finally gets into the scoring column. Maybe that'll get him going.
This young man sees the game about as well as any point guard in the entire Tampa Bay area. That free throw in and out as 2 points late in the first half for Bahori. Right now the Seminole defense working it. Down the court, they try and hit Gully, and he scores.
You know, I think Seminole's found a 6th man here. Goalie has not played a ton for them and everything, but he's given them a ton of production off the bench.
Davis couldn't finish that lob, and the crowd's going to let him know.
Yeah, you know, Drew, Coach Walker's went to a 3-2 and then a 1-3-1, and Brandon has really struggled against it. That's 3 consecutive possessions where they've not got a good shot out of it.
How about that sequence by Gully coming off the bench? That's about as good a substitution as you can have.
Yeah, he must have been tired there, because that's the only reason he would have been taken out right there. But great job by Goldie coming in and giving him a big lift, and he's the one that's got him some lead here.
Tanner Cowan able to shake free and score, and the lead is up to 10 for Seminole.
Well, as we said before, Brandon not being able to see Seminole sets.
Try to put it up, and second try is good. Roderick Davis on the glass.
Now, Drew, that's the drawback of the 1-3-1. The weak side rebounding is open all the time. So that's where Brandon's got to get on that weak side and get rebounds.
Oh, look at that move. Just off.
Nice Euro step there. We call it the Dwayne Wade move. Just didn't finish it.
Pedro Lopez puts it in. So 2 straight buckets. And a quick timeout called by Josh Walker as Brandon trying to adjust to the different defenses that Seminole keeps throwing at him.
You know, Drew, that happens so many times. We go down, make a really good move, blow the layup, and the other team comes right back down and makes the layup. I thought it was a good timeout by Josh Walker. I thought some of the Seminole kids were struggling a little bit stamina-wise. So good timeout just to get things settled down. They'll come out and run a nice little set. Let's see if Coach Turner changes defenses now. I noticed he's went to trapping a little bit, and that does give them a little bit of trouble. Seminole could be susceptible to some traps and some rotations.
Well, the Brandon Eagles, kind of an up and down season, started with a 4-0 record and then coached the next 7, only 2-5, but they were all games that the Eagles learned from. And Jamie Turner says, as long as my team is learning from our losses, I've learned that a loss isn't so bad anymore.
See, look here, good job by Coach Turner in a little 2-2-1 press. The old UCLA John Wooden press, just trying to make a mistake.
Nearly threw it away.
Now they scramble and pull back into their man-to-man defense.
Connor Frayne had a nice offensive night. The Warhawks now will take some air out of the basketball with a minute left to play in the first half.
And then Coach Turner got him back into zone, so he knows that the rule is on the Princeton offense, if somebody dribbles at you, you cut back door. If the guy gets back there, then you come take the handoff. So it's very, very difficult to defend. So good job by Coach Turner in this last minute, just going to zone so they can't give up anything but contested outside shots.
On the floor, Bahori able to save it. And now the Eagles trap, paying some dividends. Beard in the corner. They get the ball out of trouble. And now Connor Frayne controls. No shot clock in high school basketball, so Seminole taking advantage of that right now. 15 seconds.
Obviously, Seminole's going to take the last shot. And they've got some fouls to give. I don't think Brandon knows that.
Marco Bahori, only 1 bucket. Here's Fran at the buzzer, and a foul will send him to the line.
Tremendous ball handling, being poised, taking care of it, and getting a shot on the way. You do not want to give the other team a chance to make a shot at the end of the half. So good job of running the clock all the way down.
Connor Frayne comes in averaging just over 11 points a game as Patrick Lackoff in for the Warhawks for defense. This young man, the glue for just about everything that this Warhawks basketball team does. Final shot attempt for Colton Pickett. And that'll do it. So 29-21, the Seminole Warhawks settle in and have an 8-point lead at Brandon as we head to the half of this Keith MacCollum Memorial Shootout. 29-21, the halftime score. The Seminole Warhawks defending the home court over the Brandon Eagles. The Keith MacCollum Shootout continues here on Bright House Sports Network. And we invite you every single game to log on to the web. It's BHSN Live on BHSN.com. Not only watch these games on television, but also on your computer at BHSN.com. Bright House members can just log in by using your username and password. If you're a non-member, all you have to do is buy a pass and you can watch whatever game you want. Good stuff. Great to have you with us alongside Alan Carden. I'm Drew Felios. Seminole came out in this game trailing 7-0, but then what happened, Coach? Because right now, they totally turned this thing around.
Well, remember what we said. It was whichever team could impose their will on the other one. And so far, it's been Seminole with their sets, their backdoor cuts. They've had Brandon turned around a couple of times. And after that 7-0 run, it's been all Seminole. They've knocked down some outside shots. And remember, that's been without Marco Bahori scoring a lot of points.
Let's take a look at the scoring leaders at the half for Brandon. Wilson, Mitchell, and Davis have combined for 15 points. And for Seminole, Mr. Cowan has scored from just about everywhere. Tanner Cowan playing well, the senior forward. Connor Frayne, also 33, doing a good job cutting to the goal, getting easy shots. And Lorenzo Gully off the bench, really a spark plug for the Warhawks.
I think Lorenzo Gully was probably the difference in the first half. I would say that, to go along with his 5 points, 3 rebounds, a steal, an assist, and just a ton of energy. And look, that's the difference, 29-21.
Gully, only a sophomore, definitely playing well. We'll see more of him in the second half. Well, more to come from Seminole High School, Warhawks and Eagles. More halftime after this. The Keith MacCollum Memorial Shootout from Seminole High School. An exciting first half. Brandon trailing the Warhawks by a count of 29-21. We're thrilled to be joined today by former Clearwater head coach Alan Carden. Coach, how does it feel to be in the booth? You miss coaching in big games like this?
Well, absolutely I do. When I got out of it last year, I didn't think it would bother, but going to some of the games, it's been difficult watching and everything. The good thing about it, I've been able to see my daughter play. That's been fun. I've been able to do some other things, not having to worry about getting practices together. That's been fun, but yes, I do miss it.
All right, Coach, let's take a look at some of the halftime highlights. So many to choose from. First, the Brandon Eagles working the inside game well. Roderick Davis knocks down the first shot of the game, and then Brandon on the run. Boy, they started fast as Dante Mitchell lays it in.
Oh, right away. I mean, they come out 7-0. It was a touchdown and an extra point to start the game, and they were down 7-0, but Seminole didn't blink.
Yes,
and they were doing it without Marco Bahori.
Came back and really settled in. The outside shot was working. Tanner Cowan tees one up.
Absolutely. They got back in the game, making the 3. They ran some good sets. You can see Fraunfelter come off a high screen, knock down a 3. Didn't worry about that, so they never blinked. And then finally, Bahori gets into the scoring column with a nice move. I expect him.
Interesting to see if Seminole can continue this style of play and keep the lead with Bahori scoring limited points. There's the numbers at the half. What numbers stand out right now, Coach?
Well, obviously how well both teams are shooting the basketball. One of the reasons Brandon's field goal percentage up so high, they've had a lot of turnovers too. They've got 5 turnovers. They have rebounding the basketball a little bit, but the big thing is Seminole has been able to stay on the glass with it. I would say 5 of those 9 rebounds are probably offensive rebounds.
When we come back, the second half, Henry Beard and the Seminole Warhawks with an 8-point lead. More to come from Seminole. Ready for the second half, Seminole and Brandon here on the Game of the Week.
All right, Drew, let's see if Brandon runs a set right out of the first half to see if they can get things going.
A bad pass.
And they end up turning out. They had a nice little rub screen set off right there. And they're coming out in a 2-2-1 press, trying to increase the tempo. Seminole has a nice break against this. They always put 2 people in the corner for shooters. A little bit different than a lot of teams do it. Brandon opening up in a 2-3 zone, too, to see if they can get some trapping on the wings.
Right now the middle's open. And now they finally flash Tanner Cowan in that neighborhood. Marco Bahori will penetrate and puts it in.
He asserts himself right off, Drew, coming out. That's a good sign for Seminole. That's his 4th point of the game. Let's see if he really gets going.
Well under his average. But that was a biggie. From the corner, Kevin Wilson. 3-pointer is good.
Nice high screen over there. Kick out to Wilson. That's just playing basketball. And nice finish on the 3-pointer.
That's his 3rd 3-pointer here tonight. Here's the move to the rim, just off. Davis rips down the rebound.
Nice job of breaking the press. Again, you got to finish on the backside to make the press pay.
Roderick Davis, he can shoot it from out there. This one doesn't fall though, and Mitchell cleans up the mess, and the reverse layup now cuts into the Seminole lead. It's only 5.
You can tell what the message from Coach Turner was at halftime. Increase the tempo, make it a scrambling game. Now Seminole's got to be able to score against that.
Losing it is Bahori. Now the Eagles coming at you. Wilson. He nearly lost it. And finally, Bahori winds up with it after a miscue by Brandon.
You can see Seminole attack right away. Brandon's playing with much sense of urgency right now.
Dante Mitchell spins around, couldn't hit it, but Davis wanted a foul, didn't get it.
Yeah, nice rebound there. Probably got hacked on the arm, but they're letting them play. It's doing the same thing down here. Brandon extending the zone a little bit into making them make quick decisions. You can hear Coach Walker saying middle, middle, middle.
Coach Walker trying to settle his team down. Bahori getting a good possession here.
I will say this, if they've got the lead against the zone, you know, they'll be fine with backing it out and not playing.
Long shot by Cowan. This one doesn't drop. And now Brian Wright doing a good job on the boards tonight for Brandon. Hands to Lopez.
It's been a good chess match between Coach Walker and Coach Turner. You know, they've changed defenses and going against each other, and the kids are listening.
Davis, he can shoot, and that's a three-pointer.
Nice form, nice follow through on that as Davis knocks down the 3. Maybe that'll get them going.
It's a 2-point lead from the corner. Doesn't drop, and now the Eagles have a chance to tie or possibly take a 1-point lead. Here's Mitchell, stop and pop.
Good box out by Seminole to get that rebound. Roderick Davis was ran all the way against the wall to make sure he didn't get the rebound. Seminole's exerting a lot of energy to break this pressure too. Let's see if it has an effect on it. As we said, Brandon played last night. I'll see if that makes any difference as the game wears on.
This Seminole team 18-5 last year. They lost in the region quarterfinals. Looking to take that next step, get one step closer to a berth in Lakeland. It's never happened here for the Warhawks. This is Fraunfelter. He's been hot and cold today as Tanner Cowan rips it down, and now the Warhawks a little bit of a cold streak.
They're taking good shots. You know, Coach Walker can't be upset with the shots they're taking, but they're good shots.
Lopez tried to hand it off and a charge called, and that's a heads-up play by Doubleday.
Absolutely. I love these type plays. You know, like I say, it looks like the 3 sons that I've had, Cam, Corey, and Carden, they love to step in and take the charges. Love to step in and take those charges. Great job defensively by Seminole.
Nick Doubleday, the workhorse on this team. That's what he does best. Set screens, take charges. He's like the dirty guy, the cleanup guy. Every team needs one of those.
You got to have one of those guys. The things that are not going to show up in the stat sheet. You got to have guys that are willing to do their roles, not worry about the points, the other stuff, the accolades that come with it, and just do the dirty work. Every team has to have it. Every successful team has to have it.
Bahori, little floater doesn't go. On the second try, he had it knocked away. Both teams really scrapping right now. Here's Colton Pickett. Tries the finger roll, and it's up and in.
A nice move by the little guy. Come in there, made a nice little crossover, finger roll right in front of the rim. Nice bucket.
They're tied at 31. And now business is picked up as the Brandon Eagles have erased an 8-point lead.
I think the difference has been the 2-3 zone with some trapping on the wing. Seminole has got the shots. They just hadn't knocked it down. They've run some good stuff out of it. You just got to be able to knock it down. But it's taken away the easy basket, Drew, and that's what's helping Brandon.
Connor Frame, air ball. Running it down to Bahori.
Another hustle rebound. Another hustle rebound. That is so big. Remember, in the zone, you don't have blockout responsibilities like man-to-man, so you can give up some offensive rebounds.
And here comes the spark plug. Lorenzo Gully affected this game big time in the first half. Can he do it again as Brandon has come back?
I think he earned this extra playing time right here. Nice inbounds play.
Can't design it any better than that. Tanner Cowan scores and he'll shoot.
I've kidded Coach Walker. Check the replay, just a little screen and roll back. I've kidded Coach Walker sometimes about, is that all you do in practice and work on plays? I said, how you do that with that many, that good a defense y'all play too. Nice draw up there.
Tanner Cowan, 3-year varsity player. Experience paying off right there.
Little change of defense here too, Andrew. The one thing that gave Brandon trouble. So Josh Walker going right back to it again. Let's see how it does.
Pickett hands it off, and now Ismail Muhammad in the game for the Eagles. This jumper's off, staying with Brandon.
And again, what we talked about before, the weakness of the 1-3-1 is the backside rebounding. There's always going to be somebody on the block for those backside rebounds. So that's where Seminole's got to drop down and get that rebound.
Davis wants to shoot it again. The big man has launched 3 3-pointers just in the second half. One went down.
You can tell he's a little bit frustrated right now. Seminole has done a good job on him.
Warhawks can't hit that one. Now amongst the trees and battling was Cowan, but he got called for a walk.
You know, the neat thing about this game is the stars on the team are not playing quite well. It's the role players. That's what's making this a good game. There's the 1-3-1 again. You notice they've got Connor Frayne at the top, the big guy. They throw it away. Brandon has really struggled with that, Drew, being able to go against a 1-3-1. You got to reverse the ball. You got to think middle. Then you got to look weak side.
Pedro Lopez back into the game after a short break for Brandon. Also Wilson for the Eagles. 3-point lead for Seminole. But a different tempo set in the second half by the Brandon Eagles. Here's Gully.
You can see Seminole's a little bit uncomfortable against the zone also. Another turnover by Seminole.
Now Pickett. And he'll stay with Brandon. Nick Doubleday comes off the bench, and he'll replace Tanner Cowan.
You got to think elbows and blocks against a 2-3 zone. You got to get the ball in the middle and play high-low. You got to run somebody behind the zone. Don't try to force it. It'll be there. Then they go man out of bounds, changing defenses again.
Try to get it inside to Davis, and he rises above the defense and puts it in. Roderick Davis.
Davis used his athleticism there. He just went up over everybody and dropped it in. I think he needs to plant himself on the block and say, I'm getting every rebound. No more threes, all rebounds.
9 points for Davis. Now Connor Frayne tries to split that defense, was tripped up on the deck and threw it away.
The zone has made both teams play a little bit sloppy here. You know, we've seen a ton of turnovers in this third quarter. Brandon has made the game the way they needed to get back in the game. Quick, fast, athletic, lots of rebounding. A little power play to get Roderick Davis posted up.
Turnaround jumper now is a little bit long. Gully, good job on the boards, and now Bahori just beats everybody down the other end of the court.
Nice move by Marco Bahori, taking the ball straight, using the glass, finishing.
Lopez tried to go glass. Doubleday comes out there with it. Bahori with 2 seconds. Just left it short.
Marco had somebody open on the weak side. I think he could have made that pass, and he might have got a layup.
So we have got a basketball game. The Brandon Eagles have a good third quarter. They still trail by 3 at Seminole. Good basketball game at Seminole. Warhawks by 3, 36-33. Drew Felios and Alan Carden with the call tonight. So happy you could join us. Sit back and enjoy what should be a fun fourth quarter as Bahori couldn't get that one to fall, but once again, Gully there for the hustle play.
Brandon started out in a 1-3-1, kind of gave Seminole a little bit of its own medicine. Bahori got a nice shot, missed it, and there's their man on the spot. Our goalie got a nice rebound. Wasn't able to cash in, though, then misses his first free throw. Need to make them pay when you get those points off offensive rebounds.
Lorenzo Gully did have some growing pains the early part of the season and started to pick up his play. A couple of big misses right there. Lead still 3. Tipped away. Bahori's quick hands made it happen. Now here he is, spinning around and hitting.
That was all Marco Bahori. His hands tipped it away and then took it himself, and there he is. There he is, knocking out of bounds. All right, it's the fourth quarter, and this is where this kid's going to pick his game up. He struggled a little bit, but he's kept playing hard. Sometimes it's all not about points. It's what you can do to help your team, and I'm sure that's all he's concerned about.
Nearly took out the scoring table, but sacrificing his body for the team here in crunch time. His shot's off. Mitchell couldn't hit. Seminole with the rebound, and now Tanner Cowan.
Thought they should have went into Davis. Davis had him on his back, and they ended up shooting a 15-foot jumper. They should at least played some inside out. Let's see what Seminole can do.
This shot from the corner's off. Mitchell controls it. Lopez. Hands to Mitchell. He's cut off. Now it's Davis. And the big man's going to draw a foul and shoot a couple.
Drew, that's what I think Roderick Davis needs to do. He needs to forget about getting out on the perimeter. That time he took, ball fake, went straight to the hole, avoided the contact, and then is on the free throw line getting ready to shoot.
Roderick Davis, there's the averages, just over 13 a game, a 4-year starter, but mostly his legacy is going to be after Coach Mark Herman retired at Brandon. The program did take a little bit of a dip. This guy right here is the guy who brought it back to respectability. They built around Roderick Davis.
Absolutely. That's it. When they first, when Coach Herman first left, Coach Turner took over, they struggled a little bit, but they're back up to respectability now. Some good basketball in play in that Tampa area.
10 points for Davis. Bahori's been special here in the second half. And a foul's going to be called on the floor where Gully tried to go up.
Marco being the facilitator there, threw it to Gully. Gully drew the foul, but it was on the floor. You got to throw that up so you can get to the free throw line. Let's see the set they run here.
Long shot by Bahori. Three-pointer not going down in the second half for Seminole.
Again, nice shot, nice play. They said a little flare screen.
Lopez going to be fouled. Well, he gets up the court quickly, doesn't he?
After the shot, I'm thinking 3 seconds, and he was on the line. So look how quick he gets to the hole. 3 dribbles, and he's there and draws the foul. You can hear Coach Walker saying, quit pressuring after a missed bucket and get back and protect. You don't want to give these up to him.
Coach Walker dealt with a couple down years here at Seminole when he took over the program and did not win a lot of games the first couple of years because he was laying down the foundation of what he wanted this program to be. When you do that, a lot of kids aren't going to like it. You're going to have a lot of kids quit, and you got to get rid of some guys. But now the system is in place, and the Warhawks feasting.
You are preaching to the choir, Drew.
Connor Frayne, baseline, up and in.
Nice move by Connor Frayne. One dribble to his right in elevation. But here we go, right back down. I like to see that fast break basketball. Somebody scores on you, you do the old North Carolina play, get down.
Offensive foul, Bahori ran right in to Brian Wright.
Marco got a little bit out of control there. A little bit out of control. Need to slow down just a little bit. Here's a replay, no doubt about it. Like the way these referees are calling the charges. If the player is set, call the charge.
Well, the Wharton Wildcats are here. You see across the court, the Wildcats entering, and they'll be a part of our second game against the Largo Packers. Joined us immediately following the conclusion of this one at 8 o'clock tonight.
My old friend Tommy Tonelli, looking forward to seeing him. Got a nice team again this year. Good defense by Seminole there. Make them call a timeout.
There's Chase Litton, the great Wharton quarterback who plays a key role for Coach Tonelli's team. Doing a lot of great work on the boards. Well, tonight a game of emotion. We've mentioned Keith MacCollum, honored by Seminole, and Milo Meeks, the player from Brandon who passed away on September 21st after preseason conditioning. Milo was 17 years old. It did bring this Brandon team closer, but Coach Jamie Turner says we do have our moments when we just cry, we sit, we talk. We have to kind of hit the pause button and all just chat things out, and in the end it brings us closer, but it is a process at times.
There's no doubt about that. People don't understand the inner workings of a basketball program. They don't understand how many times you have to be every facet of life for these kids. Mom, dad, friend, buddy, judge, jury, and executioner sometimes. You know, they just don't, people don't understand about the inner workings, and especially a situation like that.
Two-point game, Seminole by a deuce.
Seminole went to their 1-3-1 here. Then they go back, see how they're falling back. Now they're going to a man. Little change of defense, trying to confuse them.
Pedro Lopez had it blocked away. As Fran made it happen, they put the big man on the point guard. Three-pointer is up, and if that would have went down, this crowd would have gone nuts.
Nice shot by Henry Beer. They just hadn't went in.
Lopez on the other end puts it in, and we're tied at 40.
Seminole's done a good job getting shots. You just got to knock them down.
Now Fraunfelter off the dribble, couldn't hit. And Brandon with a chance to take a lead that they haven't had since early in the second quarter.
You can see the emotion coming into Brandon. They're sensing it. It's about to get to the 4-minute mark, and that's when I call winning time. That's when you got to bow up and you got to play basketball offensively and defensively.
Davis couldn't put it in, and he'll go to Seminole. Now substitutions for Brandon, as big Kiefer Jefferson Grimes will come off the bench for that physical presence.
Roderick Davis's body language has got to get better. You know, he can't worry about that. I'm the better player. It's winning time now. I've got to take over and assert myself.
Ahori. That's the guy right now that's got to come up big for Seminole. Number 3. There he is, top of the screen, waiting for it. As Beard running the offense right now. And so they put Bahori at the 2 right now, perhaps to get some more scoring.
Probably get a shot, but they're going to be patient. Remember, Seminole's right where they want.
There it is. Fraunfelter puts it in.
That's a great shot by TJ Fraunfelter, but the key was Henry Beard's screen of the zone on the side. Nice little flare screen. That will not show up in the box score, but that was big.
6 points for TJ Fraunfelter. Couple of three-pointers tonight. Now Lopez lost it, and so did Bahori.
Good defense there. Just, boy, if they could have picked that up, that would have been big. 3 minutes to go in the game, 3-point lead. You got to start thinking about playing situational basketball right now. Good coaches have went over this in practice multiple times. What are we going to do when we're down 3? What are we going to do when we're up 3?
These are the moments that define seasons.
Well, this is just great practice for your tournament time.
Wilson tried to go high glass, couldn't get it to fall, and persistence will pay off as Kevin Wilson will go to the line.
You know, Drew, people just don't understand how big rebounding is. You can play the greatest defense in the world, you don't get rebounds, it hurts you. Seminole had a tremendous defensive possession there, but they didn't get the rebound.
Here's Kevin Wilson, averaging just over 12 a game, the MVP of the Christmas tournament that Brandon played in. Kevin Wilson, get this, coach, he's a senior right now. When he was in the 9th grade, he was the water boy of the Eagles.
Well, it just shows what you do if you put yourself in a position where you can improve, and that's what he's done.
There he is in a key situation.
2-point game, 2.5 minutes to go.
Fran, wide open, Fraunfelter.
Big three-pointer, big three-pointer. Josh is trying to get him into a different defense right now. Good job of changing on the run.
Timeout, Brandon.
Good job of changing on the run. 2 super big threes by TJ Fraunfelter. And that's what you got to have down the stretch.
Seminole came out in the second half, cold shooting threes. This is footage from the first half when the Warhawks used that nice ball movement. Nick Doubleday knocking it down. Also, Tanner Cowan, a marksman from outside.
You can see they screen the zone. A lot of people will run the high-low stuff, try to get the ball in the middle and look behind the zone, reverse the basketball, overload the zone. But Seminole likes to screen the zone. They're screening that, bringing the ball to one side, reversing it to on the skip pass. Skip pass is one of the best passes in basketball. Just tremendous execution.
TJ Fraunfelter, 2 big threes.
And TJ, as I told you, remember, he struggled a little bit in the first half, getting them to go down, but shooters have no conscience. They have no conscience. If they miss 5, they know the 6th one's going in.
Fraunfelter, tremendous tandem with Marco Bahori. At one game this year, number 22 for Seminole, TJ Fraunfelter hit 9 three-pointers in one game. That's 9 threes. He averages just over 3 three-pointers a game.
When you get hot, you want to keep it going, so that's what he did. He kept shooting the ball.
Nice shot. Pedro Lopez stuck with it.
3-point game, 2 minutes to go. There's Fraunfelter again.
Again, this one nearly went down.
Drew, that's what we call a heat check. That's what we call a heat check.
Pedro Lopez took a shot right across the nose. He is feeling it. This could have easily been a foul.
That it looked like it was off Seminole, but it hit TJ as he was standing on the line.
Under 2 minutes. Brandon now.
They're going to try to take a little bit of air out of it.
Here's Bahori. Fraunfelter open for a moment. Decides to pull it back. At what point do you think about, well, right now you're not going to think about it because the timeout was just called, but if you're Brandon, at what point do you think about putting Seminole on the line here?
Well, they've got to start it now. They're not in the bonus yet, so they've got some fouls to give. So that means they can be super aggressive. All right, that means you can go for a steal, and if the referees don't call it, you may be able to get it. So really hacking up at the basketball, being very physical on your traps, rotating to the middle, that will be a big difference. You've got a couple of chances. So let's see what they do. I'm sure Coach Walker say, look, they've got some fouls to give. We got to keep the ball centered, keep the ball in Bahori and Fraunfelter's hands, make sure you handle it, be fundamentally sound at all times.
If you're just joining us, the Brandon Eagles raced out of the gates, had a 7-0 lead, but Seminole eventually able to settle things down, rely on the three-point shot, and the play off the bench of Lorenzo Gully. They went into halftime with an 8-point lead, but in the second half, Brandon changed that. Made this game into their style of basketball, more up-tempo. Seminole was a bit rattled, but now the Warhawks using the three-pointer of TJ Fraunfelter, trying to hang on here with 1:39 to go.
Well, you think about it, that's the difference. An interesting thing has happened. Connor Frayne has had to go back to the locker room. So they've had to make a substitution. I think he had blood on the uniform, so he's got to run back and get. Luckily, they're playing at home, so I'm sure he knows exactly where that other uniform's at. There's a little bit of miscommunication. Connor Frayne, yes. Yes, he went back. He's out right now. And I think he's changing his uniform.
Hopefully he is not out long if you're the Warhawks. Brandon will extend this defense.
Well, you can tell Coach Walker's went to the four corners, He's going to handle the ball. And remember, if they foul, they get the ball out again. Now the drawback is Seminole's in a small court, but they're on their own floor. This is where
and there's the foul.
You've done it many times in practice, so you know where to be. Coaches work on situations all the time.
So now 6 fouls, and racing to the scores table to come back in is Connor Frayne. Doubleday will have a seat. You gotta love that.
There was the fans probably couldn't see it, but they couldn't find a key to get the new jersey, or the shorts, so he had to run back there and get it. Good hustle, best hustle we've seen today.
Albahori asking for his teammates to come up, help him out. This is Fran. Under a minute. Brandon still content to not foul.
I don't understand that. I'd be going and trapping this on the first pass.
And there it is. They're going to whistle Mitchell. And finally, free throws coming up for the Warhawks.
Yeah, they had an opportunity. They had a foul to give. You should have been really aggressive with it to see if they might could get a steal or some way. So it's going to turn into a free throw shooting contest. Seminole shoots it from the free throw line pretty well. Knocks the first one down.
$10 points for Connor Frayne. Right at his average of 11.
And then you see a nice coaching move. Josh sent somebody up to the stop so they cannot get a fast break going the other way. Have to let the substitute in. Good coaching move by Coach Walker.
Brandon needs a bucket. And a timeout. So Jamie Turner will have a chance to talk this over. He says, we want to treat this game like it is a championship game. It's that kind of atmosphere tonight with districts coming up. You got to get ready for this intense competition because in the months of late January and February, Coach, does it ever get heated?
Well, Drew, I think playing on Bright House, I think you ought to treat it as a championship game. It's a huge, huge event in any game, whether the game is meaningless or not, or it means something. So I think that's the right approach. That's the right approach on that. It'll be interesting to see what they
this has been fun. Seminole is the type of team where not really flashy, not the most athletic team, but they hang around and they always seem to be in a basketball game. And here at home with this crowd, that's why they lead in this game right now.
Remember what we said at the first day. Which team can impose their will on the other? And there's been no doubt Seminole has imposed their will on Brandon. Now Brandon has got to see what they can do this last 47 seconds. It's very important we get something going to the hole right now.
There's Gumby, Coach.
I think Gumby's excited too. Wonder where Pokey's at.
The Eagles not done yet. Brandon High School known, of course, for their state wrestling championships year after year. Only 2 trips to the state Final Four, the state championship games. That was a deep shot as Kevin Wilson's able to put it down, and now it's a 2-point game.
Huge shot by Kevin Wilson. Huge shot. Seminole opened up in a 1-3-1. They still ran their man-to-man play. Check this out. Ran a little rub screen, got to the corner, and he launched up there, nothing but the bottom of the net. Huge 3 for Brandon. It's going to turn into a free throw contest now.
Big ones for Tanner Cowan.
Tanner is cool as the other side of the pillow, Drew. Knocked that thing down. No rim. Gets extra points for that.
2 of 2 from the line tonight. Make it 3 of 3.
Good timeout by Josh Walker. Knocked down the free throw. Didn't even touch rim on both of those. Nice job.
This is when the little things start to pay off, like free throw shooting, Coach. In your average practice that you would have at Pinellas Park or Clearwater, how much time maybe a session or a week do you devote to free throw shooting?
I think all coaches devote time. There's been a lot of debate on should you talk about free throw shooting, should you work on it, should you not work on it. You know, I think it's a situation where you teach them the proper mechanics and you teach them a routine, and then it's up to them to become better free throw shooters. Every coach puts in free throw time, but the kids have got to put that in.
Coming up next, a tremendous basketball contest as the Wharton Wildcats get ready for the Largo Packers, the best of Hillsboro and one of the best in Pinellas. Largo's been exceptional this season, coming off a really big win over Eastlake that was on the game of the week this Thursday night.
That'll be interesting. Great game, really physical, hard-fought game that Largo had against Eastlake the other night, Thursday night. Eastlake had a chance to get them, didn't get a chance, and they also played Mitchell last night. Be interesting to see the fatigue factor in this next game.
Largo with a big win over Mitchell, game that they had circled on their calendar.
I talked with Coach St. Charles the other day, and one of probably 4 in the next month. See, Seminole came out, did not run the zone that time.
Trailing by 2 buckets. Brandon tries to go glass on the three-pointer. And now the Eagles have to foul as Connor Fran came away with a rebound. Is that the shot you think Brandon wanted?
Drew, I think they should have went down low to Roderick Davis. You don't need a three-pointer. You need a bucket, something to the hole, hopefully draw a foul. They decided to go for the three-point shot. There might have been a second option on that, I don't know. But he had just made one before, so that might have been what they were trying to run. You got to give yourself multiple chances to win the game here.
There's a miss. The Eagles will have a chance, and a foul now called underneath will stop the clock.
That's okay, though. And the thing about it, Coach Walker could actually foul another time to get this thing down to 8 or 9. See, the coaching staff is asking if I got one to give. So you may see them foul right here. Look, Coach Walker's getting a timeout right now to see if they've got fouls to give.
Let's see if Seminole uses that to their advantage, leading by 4 points here. The Warhawks closing in on what would be another huge victory.
You know something, Drew, this has been, the play has been very, very tough and aggressive and hard. But, you know, both these coaches done an excellent job, too. They've not missed a beat. Coach Turner's done a good job with his group. Coach Walker's made all the right calls on his. Very well-coached game.
Well, we got high school hockey coming up on Bright House Sports Network next week, January 24th, 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. How about that doubleheader? Steinbrenner versus Wharton and Manatee versus Eastlake. High school hockey on Bright House Sports Network. Dave Mishkin, voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Drew, if it's cold in a hockey arena, I don't think I'm going in there. That's the reason I live in Florida. Remember, I moved here from Georgia, where it does get cold and hot. Let's see if Seminole wastes one of the fouls. Remember, they got a 4-point lead. They don't have to. Yeah, okay, they wasted it. That was good.
So clock will stop with 12 seconds. And now Marco Bahori back into the game for the Warhawks.
You see the communication there, Gabe. Said put Hank on 11 and make sure he does not spring free. So they're not wanting to give 11 a bucket. No looks. High screen.
Here's Lopez. And a foul.
And that's exactly what I thought they should have done when they shot the three-pointer. Go to the hole. Go to the hole. Now, they're going to need these 2 free throws, Drew, to cut it to a 2-point game, and then they've got to deny hard. I think Coach Walker's going to get a... That's right, he needs to make this one. It's still okay. If it goes in, they probably will get a timeout to set up a inbounds play.
8 points for Pedro Lopez and 2 free throw misses. Oh boy. It'll stay with Brandon though. So with 6 seconds to go, the Eagles still have a chance, but it is going to be tough.
Well, the thing about it, they really can, if they'll just guard the inbounds, let them score, then don't touch the ball. Don't even touch the ball if this goes through.
Wilson,
Don't even touch
three-pointer.
it. Don't even touch it.
And they don't. And the clock will wind down, and that'll do it.
Good, smart play. Good, smart play.
So the Seminole Warhawks, it wasn't easy, but they fight off a pesky Brandon Eagles team to win 50-49. A late three-pointer by Brandon made it a one-point game. But for Josh Walker, another superb coaching job, changing defenses. And when his team hit lulls, he was able to make key adjustments.
Well, I think Josh did an excellent job of coaching, getting his kids in the right position. And just like there at the end, giving a foul, all right, and then with 6 seconds left, knowing that all they have to do is guard the inbounds, and then even if the shot goes through, let the ball drop. You could tell him telling his kids to do that.
It is time now for our FBC Mortgage Player of the Game, and that honor is going to go to TJ Fraunfelter, because in the second half, when it really got hot in here, Fraunfelter was able to shake free, knock down a couple of huge threes, and those 6 points, the difference in the game.
The difference in the game, Drew. Those 2 threes back-to-back were a difference in the game.
So Fraunfelter with only 9 points. It was the quality of the points and when they happened
Absolutely.
that were huge.
Yeah, Connor Frayne is our MVP of the game, and Roderick Davis is the MVP for the Brandon. Yeah, they give one to each team in this shootout, so that's a neat thing to do to recognize that. But TJ Fraunfelter, not the amount of points, is when those points came.
So congratulations to Fraunfelter and Frayne, honored after this game. And now the Warhawks can celebrate. A great job by the student body supporting the home team. 50-49 is your final for the entire Bright House Sports Network crew. Producer Jeff Sermon alongside former Clearwater head coach Alan Carden. I'm Drew Felios. There's the final. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned. Coming up in about a half hour, we've got Wharton, we've got Largo here at the Keith MacCollum Shootout on Bright House Sports Network.